The Performance Tip. Professional tips on the latest performance technology available with NHRA Pro Stock champion Greg Anderson. Items featured on the Performance Tip are available from Summit Racing Equipment, the world's speed shop.
Today's Summit Racing Equipment Performance Tip centers on brakes. And here we are with Mike from Stainless Steel Brakes to talk about some very impressive looking brakes. And obviously everyone knows how important it is to get your race car hauler to and from the racetrack. Why is it so important to have great brakes on your hauler, Mike?
Well, what everybody doesn't realize is that the vehicles are designed with stock brakes and they're designed within the weight loads. But we have a tendency when we go racing on there, and I myself am doing the same thing. We load toolboxes, generators, coolers full of ice, extra things that you might want to take along. You got all sorts of extra toolboxes. You got cars, extra set of tires. By the time you get done, you're really overloaded on there, and you got way more weight than the vehicle's originally designed for. So what's happening is now, as you go down a hill or in areas where you need to panic brake, you don't have that kind of braking stopping power, and what's happening is your vehicle is taking longer to stop. In some cases, it might be 30, 40 feet, which is the length of your trailer. So now what we've done here is we've gone through and developed a program where we have new calipers that are aluminum, which will reduce your weight, give you a better ride quality, but also are much bigger and fit in a stock wheel. So you're able to use stock rotors, in some cases even stock pads, but everything is basically untouched, but we give you a bigger caliper with up to 35% more braking horsepower.
And it looks like we have exciting products for pretty much every application, any hauler you might have.
That's correct, yeah. We have the GM 1 ton and 3/4. I have the Ford 1 ton and 3/4 ton, and then in the spring we're going to be launching the new Dodge program featuring our 8-piston caliper. Be a big, massive caliper. You want to press your friends, it's on there, but I'll tell you what, it'll fit in a stock rim.
There you have it, folks. Very important to get that hauler to the racetrack. Can't race if you don't get to the racetrack. For more information on these exciting products, check out the Stainless Steel Brake website at the end of our show, or go to the Summit Racing catalog.
Our next inductee is Dave Zuccill. Now, we lost Zuccill at an early age, and that's a real crime because he was one of the finest engine builders there was. And the Ivo Zuccill team were very formidable. If we hadn't have lost Dave Zuccill early on, the Ivo Zuccill team might have went on to become world champions. He built all of Ivo's engines, and let me tell you, they ran good. And these are the early engines that he built, the Buicks, but later on they went to the blown Chryslers. And I'll tell you what, when we raced them with Swamp Rat 3, it was nip and tuck. No one knew who was going to win because Zuccill really knew how to build a fuel motor. He had his own P-51, and he died in a crash in it, and it was a shame because if Zuccill was around today, he'd be right out there with the best of them, mixing it up in top fuel at the NHRA drags.
I want to thank everybody for thinking of our father this far after the fact. He's been out of drag racing for 40 some odd years, and he will have left us from this earth 20 years next month. So it's very nice that you thought of him, and drag racing was always his passion. Even though he went on to boats and planes and different things like that, when he would see you guys on TV, he'd tell all sorts of stories and we'd say them right with him. So he would be flattered too, and I'm happy to accept this for him. And I think that's it. I don't have any good stories because I was 3.
This year, the Founders Award was presented to Bill Bader. Bill started his racing career back in 1962 at an oval track, and he brought that knowledge to Norwalk Raceway Park, where he unleashed the Halloween Classic and the Night of Fire, legendary drag racing events. Bill instituted a number of firsts. He purchased the IHRA and made that a racer-friendly establishment that would provide the best possible show for the fans.
My dad passed away in 1977, and he never understood drag racing. He never understood my involvement in drag racing. He used to come and talk to me. He worked, he knew how to do one thing: get up in the morning, work, go to bed at night, take care of your family, and he was very influential in the church. He tried to tell me, Billy, you need to get a job. You have a wife, you have children. You can't do this. And I said, Dad, it'll be okay. The good Lord took him home. He didn't get married, he was 35. He didn't have me, he was 40. So my younger brother, he was 60 years old, raising a teenager. I know my dad, if he were alive, would be proud tonight. I looked and turned this ball over to Tom Compton and Graham Light and the folks at NHRA as I see our sport evolving into a major league franchise. I know that the future is incredibly bright, and under the guidance and help of everyone here and all those folks that were now following us and giving us this platform, to play ball in. The future is ours for the taking. Thank you very much.
Inside Drag Racing is brought to you by Granatelli Motorsports, the mass airflow sensor experts. By the O'Reilly Auto Parts, Masters Auto Expo, June 21st through the 23rd in Moorhead, Kentucky. And by United Specialties, home of the trendsetters. Next week, we'll have coverage of the NMCA season opener from Bradenton, Florida. For information on the products you've seen on the programs, please consult these websites. Inside Drag Racing is a presentation of Masters Entertainment Group.